What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to do a Q&A, and I'm going to answer the most asked questions. I get these questions asked every video that I put out, and so I want to address some of them. And then also, there's one that I'm going to be asking you guys for feedback because I've seen this statement come up, and I don't know if it's true or not, so you guys can let me know your experience. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Please hit that bell notification and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. We do daily videos. So by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. Okay, so let's move over. I'm going to show you guys these three comments here. Now, this is in a row, and I just pulled this up right now. And I thought it was interesting because it's in a row. These are exactly the questions that people have been asking me over and over again. And so I want to address these questions. Now, I have addressed two of these questions already in the past, but because people keep asking me the questions, I think I need to address it more often. That way people will understand, okay, it's not going to happen. Like when it comes to the first question here from Catherine, thank you for the question, but she's asking about the forced stimulus check. I've talked about this in previous videos. There's not a forced stimulus check, okay? And so when it comes to politicians, they need to get together and put a bill together. That has not happened. Politicians aren't talking about a forced stimulus check. Right now, we're in a lame duck Congress, which means that Congress is really not going to do much of anything. The only thing they'll be focused on is the debt ceiling. That's going to be their major thing. And also, we need to kick the can down the road again when it comes to the budget because that will expire in December. So they're going to have to move forward with that. If they don't move forward, then we're going to be looking at a government shutdown. But as far as a forced stimulus check, that is not in the works. Okay, so if you're hearing information from other people telling you there's a forced stimulus check coming, they're not being honest with you. It is not happening. Okay, if it does happen in the future, I will be the first one to come out and say, hey, this is what Congress is talking about. But they're not talking about it now. And so please do not be planning for receiving a forced stimulus check because it's just not there. Now, if you want to reach out to your Congress people, you can reach out to them and talk to them. But right now, you don't have politicians talking about it. And on top of that, stimulus checks help stimulate the economy, which raises inflation. Okay, so right now we're looking at high inflation. And it's not just stimulus checks that raise inflation, but it is one of those aspects because it does the opposite of what the federal government wants to do right now. They want to cool off the economy. They don't want people spending as much as we've been spending. That will lower inflation. But if we're looking at a situation where money is going in, if they're printing more dollars and they're sending them to the American people and sending them to businesses and everyone's spending and spending, guess what? Inflation will get even higher. And so that is the fear right now when it comes to any type of stimulation. They don't want to stimulate the economy. Their main focus right now is cooling off the economy. Okay, so next question here. Now, this is one that I've seen people post this. This is more of a statement. They posted this, and so I just want clarification. You guys let me know in the comments if you guys are receiving a similar letter because letter will be going out in December that will tell you about the increase. But this person, and this is not the only person, Mr. Jameis, this person and others have said the same thing. They said that that's not correct. And I'm guessing they're referring to a video where I said on December 30th, that's when the first increase will happen. And they're saying that's not correct. I receive a notice that says the increase begins in December. So that could be true. The letter could say the increase begins in December, but it will be for SSI and on December 30th. And so technically that would be in December. So I just want to know, let me know in the comments if you guys received the letter and let me know what it says. Does it say in December? Does it say an actual date in December? Because if it just says in December, then it's probably what I reported that December 30th, that's when SSI will start receiving that increase. So just let me know about that one. And then the last question here, or the last comment. What about the $200 we were supposed to get along with the COLA raise? Okay, so that never went through Congress. The raise, a $200 raise for Social Security, that never went through Congress. Okay, so you didn't have Congress vote on a bill, and that's what needs to happen. The $200 raise was talked about by Congress people, but they never put it to paper and they never passed it through Congress. And so what does that mean? That means that there's no $200 raise for Social Security, okay, at least not right now. And in the future, we already know the makeup. We already know that Republicans will be taking over the House, and we know that the Senate, Democrats will remain in control of the Senate, okay? So that means split government. And when it comes to split government, they don't like to agree on anything. And so in my opinion, it's going to be very hard for us to see any raise, any $200 raise for Social Security just because of the split government. Now, what they might address the Social Security reform, which needs to happen, where they address the trust fund, but that's it. When it comes to a raise, I don't see that happening. You're not going to have politicians come together and try to move forward with anything like that. I just don't see it. I don't see Republicans wanting to move forward with a $200 raise for Social Security. So that would mean even if they passed it in the Senate, it still would need to pass the House. And if Republicans are running the House, it's just not going to happen. So it's unfortunate, but that's the way things work. Okay. So, and I know people are saying, well, President Biden promised a $200 raise for Social Security. The reality is he could show support, and that's what politicians do. So you guys have to understand this. The president knows that he doesn't have the power on his own to issue out a $200 raise for Social Security. He knows that. And so when he's running, if he's running in a campaign, he's going to say, I support a $200 raise for Social Security, which is that's what he said. I support it, but he can't do it on his own. He can't do it at all. It has to go through Congress. Congress has to initiate it, pass it, send it to him so he can sign off on it. It can't go the other way around. He can't pass it and then send it to Congress and have them sign off on it. That's not how our government works. And so when it comes to a situation like that, if a politician shows support for it, that doesn't mean they're promising it. They're just saying, you know what, I support something like this. But Congress needs to play a role in getting that to my desk, and then I'll sign it. And I know you might be hearing people say that, well, he can do it through an executive order. He can't do it through an executive order. He can't do stimulus checks through an executive order. He can't do a $200 raise through executive order. He tried to do the student loan cancellation through executive order, and you see where that is now. It's caught up in the courts. And so when it comes to any type of spending, if you have to spend money, if you have to print more money basically to spend, that has to go through Congress. The loophole when it comes to the student loans is the loans are already out. And all they would be doing, the federal government would be receiving the money. Let's say if you owe $10,000 in student loans, you have to pay every month. So that money is going to the federal government every month. So the money's been spent. Now they're not going to be able to recoup the money if you do the cancellation. So it's a little bit different than if it's, let's say, a $200 raise for Social Security. Well, you need to come up with the $200 in order to do the $200 raise per month. So the federal government has to issue out an extra $200 every month. And that has to go through Congress. But the other way around with a student loan, and they're still fighting. I mean, this is still going through the court, so it might not even go anywhere. But that's the difference between when the president can do an executive order and when he cannot. So if you guys have any other questions, post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.